All right, back with Happy Friday Evening, Waffle House, the Roman Colosseum of the South, the Fat Files again.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. I actually debated on which channel I was going to upload this video on because on one hand, we're going over a business and the business model that it has, but on the other hand, this restaurant is basically the Roman Colosseum of the South, and I'm pretty sure if you eat there enough, you actually get a deployment patch from the U.S. military.
His other channel, The Fat Electrician, he does military stories and whatnot. If you've never gone over and explored his channel, I'd recommend both The Fat Electrician and The Fat Files. This video's linked down in the description below. And while you're down there, smash the like button for my video, get subscribed for more of this stuff, and we'll get right into it.
I wore my schnazziest tank top for the occasion. Today we're talking about Waffle House. Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I was pretty sure I was not going to get caught off guard because Waffle House is already absolutely crazy. I started looking into it and then found out that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from World War II. So they managed to actually surprise me. We're going to get to it right after
the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, babe, what's up?
Hey, I need
I hope that doesn't get me copyrighted.
boombox.
Okay, I can go get you one.
A boombox.
All right, I'll go get it now. Love you.
Boombox.
All right,
got it.
1 hour later.
Where's that boombox that I asked for?
Oh, it's right here. I got it for you.
Boombox.
What is this?
The boombox.
No, I wanted something
Boom.
to play music with.
Oh,
that
miss-
kind of boombox.
A
Yeah, I got
misunderstanding.
Okay, we'll go to the store and get me a boombox so I can listen to music.
Can I keep this one still?
I don't care.
Yes.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me. Okay, super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure you use a free service.
And
Let's
jump
down
ahead.
below. Let's get back to the
DeleteMe.com/fatfiles. There's his code. Goodbye.
video. All right, Waffle House. Our story begins with a gentleman by the name of Tom Faulkner. This man graduated from law school at 23 years old, passed the bar, and immediately gets drafted in 1940 in the days leading up to World War II. Because he graduated from college, he's presented with two different options. He can A, go straight into officer training, and that's a 3-year commitment, or he can just be a normal draftee and go in as an enlisted soldier, and that is a 1-year commitment. Now you gotta remember, this
he's gonna go 1 year.
While World War II is currently going on, America's not involved yet. The attack on Pearl Harbor has
Yeah, the only involvement America has is making, well, everything for everybody.
not happened, and prior to the
We
attack on
just
Pearl
made
Harbor,
all the shit.
American people did not
Send
want
it
to go
across.
war. Because of that, Tom Faulkner figures, hey, we're not actually going off to war. I don't want to waste 3 years of my time just being in the military, not actually, fighting a war or whatever. So he chooses to be a draftee. Goes into the military as an enlisted soldier, E1 private. From there, goes off to basic training. As soon as he gets through basic training, the attack on Pearl Harbor ends up happening. America enters the war. He immediately opts to go into OCS training and commits for 3 years. After he completes the officer training course, he actually gets slotted to be a counterintelligence officer where he does, and I quote, a lot of top secret stuff.
You see, my identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
You can actually tell in the interviews that he gave later on in his life, like in his 70s, 80s, and 90s, that he's still not sure what he is and what he isn't allowed to talk about. But he did end up telling us that basically it was his job to try to sneak onto military bases, not as military personnel. So he would basically disguise himself as like a painter or a carpenter or whatever and try to infiltrate a U.S.
The back then version of the modern days, walk around with a clipboard and a safety vest, and you can get in almost anywhere kind of thing. I get him. I get his plan.
To expose weaknesses within the system to help counteract enemy spies. So he does that for a couple of years, and then one day he ends up getting orders like, hey, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, okay, for what? And they're like, don't fucking worry about it, just show up. So he shows
And when you're in the military, you do what you're told.
up in Tennessee and he's given his orders, and those orders, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're essentially, hey, here's your partner. You two are going to hop in that truck and you are going to drive it from Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Alamos, New Mexico. You guys are going to dress in plain
They were driving a nuke. 100% they were told to drive a nuke.
clothes. You're not going to look at what's inside the truck. You're not going to talk about what's inside the truck. You're going to take this map and take that exact route. This route avoids every major city and every major highway. You are going to drive straight there 53 hours straight, taking turns sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping for any reason whatsoever. And he does this for the next year and a half, pretty much nonstop. And then like 20, 30 years after the fact, he finds out that he was actually hauling the majority of the enriched uranium for all of the nuclear broadcasting.
He was hauling the nukes. The stuff for the nukes specifically, but hey, I was pretty spot on guessing that. I mean, it's Los Alamos, for God's sake.
Nuclear weapons. Which, as we all know, brings about the end of World War II, at which point he gets out of the military, moves back home to Atlanta, Georgia, starts helping his dad out with his real estate agency. Now, he does that for about 10 years, and during this time, he ends up selling the house right next door to his to another guy by the name of Joe Rogers, and they pretty much become best friends. Joe Rogers was also an Army veteran. He was actually a pilot that flew B-24s in World War II. When Joe got back home after...
That guy definitely dropped some bombs over some places. He definitely dropped some hefty fucking ordnance in places where it probably didn't always need to go. A lot of civilian casualties of World War II. A lot of civilian casualties. I mean, people freak out today about, Gaza and Israel. But, if you ever want to see something that's, that probably shouldn't have happened, the bombing of Dresden.
The war, he did not want to go off to college, so he actually just took the first job that he was offered, being a short order
or the firebombing of Tokyo.
Cook at a now defunct restaurant chain known as Toddle House. He worked his way up, becoming a restaurant manager, then eventually becoming a regional manager. And then one day, his neighbor and best friend, Tom Faulkner, real estate agent, always looking for the next investment, comes to him and is like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up my own restaurant. I can get the real estate deal going on that side. I just wanted to know, if I opened up and bought a franchise of Toddle House, would you be willing to run it for me? Now, at this point, it's like 1954, 1955. Joe Rogers has a ton of experience inside the restaurant industry, and he basically tells his best friend, hey, don't open a Toddle House. You should start your own thing. Toddle House's business model isn't that great. If you start your own restaurant, I will help you run it. He then goes off on vacation with his family, and by the time he comes back, Tom Faulkner has already bought the real estate and comes to Rogers and is like, cool, what's the business we're starting?
Where's Pancake's house?
What?
We stop at Pancake's house.
And within the span of 6 months, the very first of what is now the
Waffle
legendary
House.
restaurant chain of Waffle House,
the only restaurant that can tell you if it's good enough to go to during a hurricane. Because, they're FEMA rated.
opens. And Waffle House is legendary, probably for all the wrong reasons. I mean, even if you've never been to a Waffle House, you've heard about Waffle House because, Kid Rock got in a fight there. You've got Haley Booth, the viral Waffle House cook known as the Last Chairbender. There's entire subreddits and YouTube channels almost exclusively dedicated to all the fights that break out at Waffle House.
I went to a Waffle House one time on a vacation. Gotta say, I was quite unimpressed. Half my food was just okay. The other half was just average. The okay part was just simply because my hash browns weren't cooked well enough for me. I guess I should have been aware enough to know how they cook them. I figured they'd cook them nice and crispy. But no, they were soft and not in the way you want. They had no crisp to them at all, really. They were underwhelming. There was one other part of my breakfast that day that was screwed up, but out of the few items I had, that was all right.
I remember the first time I went to a Waffle House, I stretched
Not
first, I
anything
grabbed a GoPro.
Not anything to snap at, though. It's just okay to me.
I was ready to yell World Star. Nothing exciting happened. I just had delicious breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is probably 99% of people's experiences because despite all of the negative PR, Waffle House makes a ton of money and has an incredible business model. Okay, Waffle House had about $1.4 billion in revenue last year, which is about $650,000 per location. And when you take into consideration that each Waffle House is absolutely tiny, that's really impressive. Out of their 2,100 tiny Waffle House locations, their yearly stats are 58 million cups of coffee, 124 million waffles, 153 million servings of hash browns, 272 million eggs, which is about 2% of all the eggs consumed in the United States of America, and 85 million strips of bacon. Yes, I did the math. That is about 8,000 miles worth of bacon.
I worry.
Impressive.
What you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
So Waffle House is obviously doing something right. What exactly are they doing? Well, it all comes down to their business model and their branding. Now, with the Waffle House branding, all the negative PR about fights always breaking out at Waffle House, in a way, has actually helped them out a ton because Waffle House, by and large, is pretty much a regional chain. It's primarily down in the South. Yet,
Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, the one I went to, I believe, was... where is it? This one, number 14, is the one I think we were at. We were vacationing down that way, so I think that's the one.
Waffle House has become a household name pretty much everywhere in America. You could have never even seen a Waffle House, and you already know Waffle House is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and they serve breakfast. Why do you know they serve breakfast? Because their name is
It's
fucking
Waffle House. Just like IHOP is the International House of Pancakes, so you'd hope they'd serve fucking pancakes all day too.
I mean, look at this sign. You're driving down the road, you
Waffle
see that, you know
House.
everything
You
you
were
need
gonna
to
get a
know.
waffle.
They sell breakfast. The end. Do that with another breakfast place. If you're not from there and you don't know what a Denny's or a Perkins or an IHOP is, you have no idea. It's just a restaurant, maybe. Waffle House, they're selling waffles, which means there's like a 99% chance they sell other breakfast food.
Breakfast items.
Fucking sold. I'm in. So already, the branding is absolutely incredible.
Because everybody knows that breakfast is the best meal of the day. Even if you have breakfast for lunch or breakfast for dinner, breakfast is the best.
But here's the true genius of it.
Tastes
Why did
the
they call
best.
it Waffle House? Why didn't they call it Breakfast House or Bacon House or Hash Brown House? It's because waffles had the highest profit margin. I cannot stress to you enough how absolutely genius that is, right? Because you don't need to sell
Highest
breakfast,
profit
right? Everybody's
margin.
already in on breakfast, okay? I could be blackout drunk at 4 in the morning and you could ask me, hey, do you want breakfast? I'm coming up like the Undertaker every single time. And then you go, the only thing open right now is Waffle House, okay? I
Let's
was
go.
already sold on breakfast from the get-go, but because Waffle House is where we're going, guess what I'm getting? A motherfucking waffle, and they're making more money. It makes sense that Tom Faulkner was a counterintelligence officer because the man literally said 2 words and has already subconsciously tricked you into ordering the most expensive thing on the menu that makes him the most money. So the branding of Waffle House is both simple and brilliant, and the rest of the business model matches that to a T. Okay, all Waffle Houses are like virtually identical. They're very small. They only seat like 30 people, and you can actually see the cook making you your food. Now, at a glance, you're just like, oh, they're just going for that like 1950s drive-through type of a vibe, which they are, but there's way more to it than that. Because the restaurant is so small, the kitchen never has the opportunity to get bogged down, meaning that they're moving tables very, very quickly. So instead of having one kitchen and 100 customers, you've got one kitchen and 30 customers, and you can just turn those tables over 3 times faster, which pretty much guarantees that every customer is going to get exactly what they wanted, okay? They're not going in there for 5-star dining. They're going in there because they're hungry and they want breakfast, and now they're going to get breakfast really quick in a small setting that doesn't feel like a packed restaurant where they have to wait in line to be seated. And I know what you're thinking. What if one Waffle House just reaches its maximum capacity, right? What if it's just completely full with a line out the door 24/7 every day of the year? Waffle House surely would build a bigger Waffle House, right? No, we're gonna
they'll
take
build
the same
another
parking
Waffle
lot,
House.
and right next to that first Waffle House, we're gonna build a second fucking Waffle House, okay? The plan is working.
Another
and if
Waffle
it's not
House.
broke, don't fix it. Which is one of those things that seems dumb, but is actually brilliant. So obviously speed is key to this business model, and they've done themselves a big favor with their menu because their menu is overwhelmingly simple, okay? It's literally one side of one piece of paper. Okay, the entire menu is comprised of like 10 things. They have waffles, sausage, bacon, ham, eggs, toast, biscuits, gravy, butter, and syrup. Guess how many flavors of syrup they have? 1. It's fucking
One.
syrup flavored
It's syrup.
The entire menu is simple, exactly how it's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, they have hash.
That is a tip for any potential future restaurant owners. If you happen to be watching, this is one tip I learned while working in a couple different kitchens, is if you want a good restaurant, you got to keep your menu simple. There's a reason that fast food restaurants have some limited time menu items. It's because they don't want to have those items all the time, everywhere.
Browns
Let
too.
me
Sorry,
continue.
11 things, not 10. Anyways, moving on. Another reason they do so good is they actually might be the best fast food chain when it comes to taking care of their employees. They pay them higher than average, they have super flexible schedules, and they're one of, if not the only fast food chain that actually offers all their employees healthcare and dental insurance. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, but really, how good are they actually treating the Waffle House employees? I got the one stat that's everything you need to know, okay? Waffle House treats their employees so well that employees are willing to commute into a natural disaster to work at a
Yep.
different Waffle House when the occasion arises. Yeah, Waffle House is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they fucking
Even
mean
in
it,
a
okay?
fucking
Whenever there's,
hurricane.
like a hurricane coming or some type of impending natural disaster, Waffle House organizes what they call a jump team, a bunch of Waffle House employees from a different region that's going to be unaffected because they know that their local employees are going to be busy taking care of their own family and their own houses during a hurricane. So they bring in teams from outside the region to work inside of a natural fucking disaster, and they're willing to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll cover this part, but they literally have the Waffle House index for the level of FEMA. If it's green, they have full menu, restaurant has all power, and there's no damage or very, very little. Yellow, limited menu, there's might not have power, might have a generator running it, or they have low supplies. Red is the only time it happens, and restaurants closed indicates severe flooding or destruction of the restaurant. Literally, it takes the destruction of a restaurant to about close one of these. That's how crazy this business is.
Said thank you.
And you never have to.
Okay, McDonald's can barely get their employees to show up on a good day, and Waffle House has
And then the McDonald's employees will show up high off their goddamn ass and work about, half the speed they should. So your drive-through times, you're waiting 15 minutes for your fucking food. That's wrong when you get it.
employees volunteering to commute into a fucking hurricane to make breakfast. And this is the most impressive part of the business because Waffle House has the best logistics and preparedness of any company I've ever seen ever. The only entity that beats them in logistical capacity is the United States military. Waffle House is literally ready for absolutely anything. Every single Waffle House has the playbook inside of it that details exactly how the staff is supposed to handle literally any type of emergency or situation that could possibly arise. And if for some reason the situation comes across that isn't in that playbook, after it happens, they immediately add it to the playbook. It covers tornadoes, hurricanes, floods,
Impressive.
a hole in the roof from a branch falling, a car driving into the restaurant. You can drive a car into Waffle House and they're still planning on staying open. The playbook even has detailed plans for every type
Impressive.
of disaster for what the local employees, while they're not working, should go home and do to make sure that their house and their family are safe as well. Every single Waffle House has a backup generator. The stovetop, it runs on propane, and they have a bunch of extra propane tanks on hand. Flashlights, candles, batteries, backup water. They have a special menu of what they're able to serve when the water is out and they're running on reserve water. When a Waffle House location is going to be in a disaster area, that Waffle House stocks up on extra food, and then all of the neighboring locations in the unaffected area also stock up and stage food there to get them more food when they need it. If Waffle House is a standing structure, those motherfuckers are serving breakfast come hell or high water.
I'm not leaving. I'm not
I'm
leaving.
not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Fucking leaving.
Waffle House is so good at this that FEMA uses them to gauge how bad natural disasters really are. Yes, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Hey, he
literally
does
uses
show
the
it.
Waffle
Yeah.
House Index to gauge
I
how
love
bad
that
a
index.
disaster is. Okay, green, Waffle House is running as normal. Yellow, Waffle House is using the backup generator or having to use an altered menu. Red, Waffle House is closed. People are probably already fucking dead by that point. Waffle House is literally the Terminator of the fast food industry, okay? The fact that the federal government, probably the most powerful entity on the planet, maybe ever, looks at a chain of restaurants and is like, man, if Waffle House is closed, we need to mobilize the National Guard is fucking crazy. Now, maybe you guys are thinking the same thing I was at this point in my research, and I'm like, man, I need to invest in this company. I need to see if I can open up my own Waffle House franchise. This company's awesome. And this is where the bad news comes in. I mean, technically,
can't do either
can
of those
franchise a
things.
Waffle
Okay,
House,
you
but
can
most of us
franchise.
probably can't. The company is privately owned. It's not on the stock
I figure
market.
it was
It's still
privately
owned by
owned.
the families of the original two founders. And while they do allow franchises, they are super picky about who they let buy in to have a franchise, and they make it very, very expensive to buy in to make sure this is actually what you want. And while that is unfortunate, I think it's actually kind of awesome. It's a company that actually has morals and cares about their
Yeah, they don't want it to be as easy as anyone who can just plop down a already existent McDonald's and become the franchise owner, or find a good spot of land and get popped in, or get a Chick-fil-A started, or a Subway, even a Subway. There's so many of those across the U.S. That's because they're so cheap. Subway is like the most common fast food restaurant, and that's because they toss them in Walmarts. It's like you can open a Subway for next to nothing, but they'll let anyone open a Subway up. So it's like, yeah, you want to be the restaurant that's picky about it. That way you have good owners, and you don't have owners that just jack up the prices and fuck you.
Their image more than they care about next quarter's profits, okay? It's a company that has committed themselves to making breakfast under any circumstances, and they're gonna see that through to
Does anybody else want breakfast right now? I'm hungry.
the very end, even though they could probably make way more money by just selling franchises and letting whoever the fuck throw up a Waffle House. And now for the fairy tale ending, Joe and Tom worked together as best friends for 62 years to build Waffle House into what it is today. They both passed away at the ages of 97 and 98, and now Waffle House and their legacy lives on as that company is still being operated by their kids. And that is the American
Awesome.
dream. Get together with one of your best friends, pick a goal, even if it's something as simple as serving breakfast to people, and never let anything get in between you and achieving your goal, even hurricanes and floods and natural disasters, apparently. Work
And then when those things do happen, you just get to help your community out by staying open, being a place they can come eat,
with your best
have a
buddy
good
for
meal.
62 years straight, and then die together and hand it off to your kids. In conclusion, Waffle House is the most American company ever, and that's why I love it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. Just two homies that dedicated their life to serving my drunk ass breakfast at 3 a.m. I'm gonna get teary-eyed next time I go to a Waffle House.
It's such a great story there. I love the Fat Electrician, Fat Files channels. He's such a great guy. Go over, make sure you're subscribed to him. Subscribe to me as well. Smash the like buttons and get the fuck out of here. Have a good weekend. And if you come back, I'll see you tomorrow.